Ladies and gentlemen, salam, namaste, khushamadi. You're watching your favorite show on ITV Gold. That's the Monty Khan Show. I'm right here in Mumbai in company of an exceptional, intelligent human who's given us gifts in Bollywood industry. Films which have marked 35 years, 30 years, hits such as Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak, Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, Akele Hum, Akele Tum, and also produced a very, very entertaining film called Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Mansoor Khan. Mansoor sir, how are you doing today? It's such a pleasure and honor to be in your company.
Well, thanks so much. It's a pleasure, joy, and a great opportunity for me to reach out, Monty. So actually, the pleasure is mine.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, your films have been so iconic, larger than life. There are films which come and enter a part of our life, but there are films that stay in our soul. Films like Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak, Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, they have left a legacy which, stays forever, timeless. Martin Scorsese always said that there are two kinds of cinema, mortal and immortal. And, I kind of like privileged to be in your company because you have given us immortal cinema.
Well, thanks so much. And thanks to the scheme of things. So first of all, I was not planning to be a filmmaker.
I know, I wanted to get into that.
That's one thing. So, and secondly, when I started my first film, I was not planning it from the box office point of view.
Correct.
I always work from an internal point of view.
Correct.
So,
I'd love
the
to
final fate of the film
is
something I leave to the audience and the rest of the world,
I was reading about your journey, sir, and correct me if I'm wrong somewhere, IIT, and then you went into MIT, Cornell University, education at the top of its, top of the pyramid. What were you trying to do, and what made you make that little telefilm, which apparently Nasir Saab saw, and what? Take us through your journey. I'm very intrigued.
So, first of all, let me clarify.
Yes.
I went to these three institutes, but I dropped out of
all three.
No, all three. From Cornell to MIT, I changed college.
You changed college, okay.
But I dropped out of IIT, then I started in Cornell from the start. And then in the third year, I went to MIT. And then I dropped out.
Got you.
Now, it's not because I was not getting good grades over there. But there was a shift of mind.
Okay.
So at that stage of time, I was totally into science, technology, electronics, computers, data, and that term artificial intelligence hadn't even come.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I was intrigued by modern science and technology, and I felt one day I want to know as much, and one day we'll know everything.
Okay.
That kind of illusion, which I'll talk about later in the context
in the context of the book, correct.
But that was not my realization then when I left MIT. I just suddenly saw myself like, okay, when I finish in a year's time, where will I be? Now, I was enjoying it as a student of, the journey of exploration and intrigue of knowledge and whatnot. But somehow I was beginning to get the feeling that I'll land up in some company, Texas Instruments, HP or India.
Correct.
And I'll be doing a 9-to-5 job. So you won't believe it that was the only thing that sort of made me lose my interest in what I was doing. Okay, I just saw that, and there was probably subconsciously some other awakening also, which I was not aware of.
Right.
But my first video film which I had made, which people haven't seen because it was a home film actually.
A home film, correct.
I was a cameraman, writer, director, editor.
What was it called?
It was called Umberto.
Umberto.
Umberto. If we say it in English.
Correct.
It's a character's name. And it was all about a boy that doesn't want to fall into 9 to 5.
The 9 to 5 routine.
And he hates his neighbor, who's a boy whose name is Umberto. And he hates because his mother says, why are you not like him? And he wants to be carefree and, irresponsible actually. So I don't say that that's the way to go.
Free.
Free.
He was not chained to a certain routine.
Right. There are a few of us who can escape. We can still manage to work, but we are not tied into an industrial 9 to 5 thing. But I only saw that. You see what I mean? So that was what the film was about, and how he eventually loses his girl to Umberto and becomes like Umberto. So I said maybe I should, go abroad.
He didn't question your...
He did. He didn't question, but he said, why do you want to go abroad and do all this? Why don't you make films?
Correct.
And actually I had no passion or interest in films. I'm not a film lover. I'm not a cinema, knowledgeable.
You used to not sit and watch your dad's films.
I used to only watch him working, him discussing his script, him discussing the lyrics, him discussing what he wanted out of the music director. And I used to enjoy the music sessions the most. But I also enjoyed the story sessions. Because somewhere inside me there was a storyteller.
There was a storyteller.
Yeah, so I'm a storyteller.
I see.
I didn't want, there's no medium that I'm attached to.
Got you.
See, so I had no particular, so in those days Bollywood was a little looked down upon,
Okay.
So mainstream, South Bombay kids would not aspire to be in Bollywood and all that.
Right.
English speaking,
English speaking.
Yeah. It had a very different image, and now Bollywood is totally happening.
It's totally happening.
Yeah.
It's become global now.
Which is good, because all the quality of all the technicians and this and that and writers and directors they are of a much varied range.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know, even then I'm not at present interested in making a film. I'll make it if I have to say something.
Correct.
So he said that, and I said, no, I mean, come on, yeah. I told my dad, I have no inclination towards it.
I can't believe you said that to the great legendary Nasir Hussain Saab. I mean,
well, only because he was my father.
He was your father. I mean, look at his hits. Yadon Ki Baaraat, Kharwan. I mean, Zamane Ko Dikhana Hai. These are like cult films,
So, but we were...
Never impressed you?
We were my sister and me, not my sister so much, but we used to go and watch his trials. And after the trial, in those days, they used to have trials. Nowadays, everybody's so scared of piracy, there are no trials only.
Right.
And we would go to the trial and come out fully criticizing his films. How did this happen? What a coincidence. Oh, how stupid. This is that.
You were like real South Bombay kid.
But I'm not in South Bombay. We were staying here.
Which school did you go to?
I went to Bombay Scottish.
Bombay Scottish. So it's an ICSE school.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's still... I would say it's a more level-headed school. I mean, we never got great achievements in sports and all that, but it was a good school.
Good school, yes.
And it is still a good school. So
Right.
my dad would patiently listen, eating his lunch or whatever he was doing.
What a man.
Acha, and all that. Then when we were exhausted of he would say, Acha, ek baat batao. Maza aaya ki nahi?
That was the main thing.
That's where we would get stuck. Maza to aaya tha. But हम लोग खामा intellectual बनने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. Or, because see, there were certain things in the earlier film that they used to take a little too much liberty.
Yeah.
With logic or,
There was no logic or coincidence.
Right.
Things used to happen.
You can take a certain amount of liberty.
Correct.
Or with coincidences. You can't have so many coincidences.
The same tattoos on the hands and then meele mein bichhadna aur fir mil jana. So,
well, that will be an eternal genre of Lost and Found is an eternal genre.
Lost and Found,
But
yes.
I'm not against Lost and Found. I'm against what all you do in it. How do the scenes evolve? And in those scenes, if there's too much coincidence, at the convenient time, the right person reached and said the right thing,
Right thing.
that kind of thing. Slightly nitpicky. So he was like, okay, I accept this, but
Maza aaya ki
nahi.
That's all.
So he had a great sense of humor.
So coming back to your journey, when you told him that you want to go to the United States, what was his take on that?
He was a very loving father. He was a very family man. Not only us, but his sisters and his aunt in Bombay. And he was very family conscious. So he was not a film socializer. He had only one party a year on his birthday.
Beautiful.
And he only called close people who he had worked with So in that sense, he felt emotionally sort of depressed or whatever. But he didn't say anything. He didn't try to convince me, which was very generous of him. And he let me go. And, in those days, matlab, just to get foreign exchange, to pay for
Yeah. It must be a very expensive
let's not go
affair.
into that.
Yes.
But yeah. And all that. I went through the whole journey. And when I came back, I didn't inform him.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You just came back.
I just came back.
You bought your own ticket.
With my father's money. I came back. I just gifted my car to one friend, my sound system, whatever I couldn't carry back. And what I wanted to carry back, I carried back. I just went and met the dean of MIT. I said, "Sir, I want to
Leave.
So they are used to this thing of foreign students sometimes getting psychologically,
Homesick.
missing home or different culture. But it was not all that. So he said, "Yeah, but you're welcome to come within a year, and you can, your student status is still valid." But even as he was saying it, I knew in my mind that I'm not coming back.
You're not coming back.
But I had no clue what I was going to do.
Wow.
I had absolutely no clue. So I came to India, and my father's response was joy.
He was happy.
Yeah.
Kaise nahi honge, sir? I mean, he's seeing his
So
son
he
back.
just didn't ask about that. It was joy.
Wow.
But his joy was short-lived because I was a terrible, terrible child at that point of time.
Really?
Yeah.
How would you define that terrible?
Why?
Why?
I mean,
Were you like a tantrum baby?
spoilt as hell. क्या कहते हैं उसको?
You're born with a silver spoon.
Opinionated as hell.
Born with a silver spoon.
Born with the whatever is most expensive these days.
A titanium
Yeah.
spoon.
But there was this.
Correct.
But I was upset with the whole world.
Hmm.
Actually, I was upset with myself.
Correct.
But it would reflect as I'm angry with the whole world.
Whole world.
Rebel without a cause.
That's a good word. Rebel without a cause.
Yeah, and it's a great film. James Dean.
James Dean.
So the angst was a lot, and I probably offended my parents
Correct.
through my tantrums and whatever. But finally, I was introspective to realize later that it was all about me, not them.
Correct.
And in this state of trying to find myself, I started a video studio. Nobody had heard of video in India. But I started that, and
A video library, like
no, not library. A video shooting setup, like right now.
a video
that you
studio.
could edit on.
Oh.
Yeah, because before that, editing on video was not possible.
Not possible.
Pneumatic
Okay.
videos. Sony 5850.
Oh, those big cameras. Like, oh.
And the editing set. Anyway, so I started that. Then that did fairly well, but I was guilty, and in the back of my head, I was thinking, I'll test my hand at writing a short 20 scene script, which I'll shoot because I have the video cameras free and all that. So I did that, and that gave me the confidence. And my father, coming back to your question, that how did he feel that I could direct or
Execute a beautiful
Execute,
and a
exactly.
full-fledged project. A
so
full-fledged.
he saw that film, which
Ah.
in the end was not 20 minutes, it was 1 hour 40 minutes. It was turned out like almost a feature length.
Like a telefilm.
Yeah. And it had 2 songs and background music and sound. I did exactly like film,
Wow.
So he saw it, and as a writer and director, he felt, I have it. And even when I completed that film, I felt I could make a film.
Nice.
But my thing is that I'm not passionate about filmmaking. I'm passionate about communicating something.
Right.
So the natural script that was coming in my head was Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar. Jo Jeeta is basically about a spoiled boy like me.
Correct.
Of course, in a humorous way, in a cinematic way, so you don't actually hate him, you like him.
Right.
But yes, you want to give him a whack on the head and say, grow up.
Grow up, yeah.
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 So I was writing Jojita, but I couldn't complete it, and my dad was writing QSQT, though it was not called that, for Amir.
He was writing it for Amir.
Yeah,
Okay.
he had Amir in mind.
Correct. But while he was penning it down, there was nobody else but Amir.
First, he started, and somewhere along the line, Javed Saab said, okay, why not Amir? You
Yeah.
know? Now, whether that was before he started writing or in his earlier, I don't know. But anyway, the point was, the objective was, it was a launch for Amir as far as he was concerned. And I was writing Jojita also with Amir in mind.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but my thing is not, okay, I'm launching Amir. Good God, I have to launch myself first.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
And-
you were your own priority at that point in time.
No. I mean, I had my own uncertainties.
Uncertainties.
About my skills or whatever.
Correct.
But I knew that I want to tell this story.
I see.
And you can tell the story of a loser who turns a winner through anything. It could be through cycling, it could be through cricket, boxing, arm wrestling, anything.
Right.
But I chose cycling. So anyway, it didn't get complete my script. So my dad said, why don't you direct this?
Wow.
So I was very apprehensive. I asked him, what kind of story? He says, a love story. I said, Daddy, every Hindi film is a love
It's
story.
a love story. Yeah.
So what's so new about it? So that was another apprehension I had. Ke, I want to go in a different zone.
Yeah. Try something new
Try
which has
something
never
new.
been done before.
Not because for the heck of being new. Not just for the heck of it. There was no idea coming into my head. I don't mind playing an old premise, But whatever. I really felt like I wanted to communicate this journey of this guy. Because that's the reason why so many people relate to Jojita.
Yes.
Even beyond its time. So when you ask me,
It is a movie which was made ahead of its time. I agree with you.
Amir recognized that. And he was very, very, he had strong belief in the film through its ups and downs. And what he said, at that time he told me, look, whatever mistakes you've made, we'll reshoot.
Okay.
Because you've written a script for perpetuity. His vision was far deeper than mine.
Yes.
And that's what he feels about my book. He is much more, smitten by it. I like it. But I'm only happy I finished it. So हम लोगों ने वो बनाई film and QSQT. And it's good in a way, because actually I was not ready. Both as a writer and as a director. I learned a lot about writing and the Indian audience. Because I came on a high horse. I don't do these things.
Correct.
Then I realized, nahi yaar, there are certain things which our Indian audience relates to.
Yes.
See, I was also always into emotions. But I would say, cut out the moms here, they disturb me. Like always there's a crying mom in the background. But it depends on what your story is.
Yes.
You see? So,
I mean, just the way you mentioned that Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak was just like another Romeo, Juliet, He Ranja, the same love story.
It is a classic
Your treatment,
story format.
I think your treatment was what separated
You're
it
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, luckily I was sensitive of that. I would write the scenes and, my scene is not written like these modern new American screenplays. In fact, I can never understand them. I write it more like a book with notes inside and, because that reminds me what the character is feeling. What I'm trying to convey. Does it come out, So I can't just write a little description dialogue. It doesn't work for me. So, that way. So I was very clear of the definition of particularly Amir and Juhi's character. Juhi's character, my dad defined.
Okay.
She says hum.
She says
that was a huge nuance that he added, and people found it very
different. Cute. Yeah, cute. Were you involved in casting of Juhi?
Yes.
Or your dad?
No. Juhi, I was convinced about. She had done in my video studio. She had done one or two ads. I never made ads, but I had the studio, so I met her through that. And then I was thinking of doing a television serial. For that, I called her. And she sat across and we spoke. And just the way she was responding, of course she's a beautiful girl, but the way she was responding, the absolute spontaneity, naturalness,
And the calmness and the, she has something about
There's
her.
a charisma which you can't define.
A charisma that's still, even till date, when you speak to her, that softness, she's not that really harsh kid, on the block.
No, she's very mellow.
Very mellow.
Yeah. So I was convinced. So I said, I said, who do you want to cast? I mean, Amir to hai.
Yeah.
So who do you want to cast?
But was Amir your first choice?
See, I was planning Amir. I was choosing for Jojita if I had written.
Correct.
So I had nothing against, or I would not say no. And also, it was the precondition is that we are making this film.
Film for Amir. So
no
it was
doubt.
a litmus test.
So no matter what people might say about nepotism, the point is if either me or my dad or Amir had not proved good in our job, and we made 10 other films with Amir, and I made 10 more films which are horrible, then you can say nepotism doesn't work.
Correct.
But let's not get into that.
Yes.
The point is, I was worried about Amir only because he's a good-looking boy.
Very good looking.
Very committed.
Yes.
Very professional.
Yes.
He's as close to me as anybody can be. But he was too shy.
Amir?
Yeah, you don't know that Amir.
Okay.
So he was, all his siblings. If you meet Amir's mother, you'll know where his gentleness comes from.
Got it.
Then, not now. So my concern was that whether he would be able to deliver in the sense of what Bollywood requires.
Got it.
And in the film, Amir, even in his first film, he aced those scenes, emotional scenes, crying scenes, sincere scenes,
Yeah.
And he had to work a little harder on the more flamboyant scenes, slightly. He is working on it. And certainly he's worked his, So
he had a lover boy image, not a Casanova, but like the actual Romeo.
That was another my contribution was that this is this boy, because my dad had always flamboyant characters.
Right. Right.
Shami Saab,
Rishi Kapoor.
Yeah, Vijay Arora. They had a flair. And that idea of image, image of the hero, my dad brought in.
Right. The Elvis Presley look. Yeah.
I think this thing is going to be mostly about film, so let's just go ahead and this. But yeah, you'll have to give me another episode.
Absolutely. It's all yours. It's all yours. It's good.
Well, I can't help.
It's such a beautiful. It's such a beautiful narration. It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because and as we're going into Amir, your chemistry with your dad, the universe aligning, the stars aligning, and then you talk about this music, the entire package. Don't you think the music was another reason for this movie to be where it is? Because
so first of all, I'm quite musically inclined.
Okay. I see that guitar in the back.
Drum. No, I can't play the guitar. That's my son and daughter's guitar.
Okay.
But I play the keyboards and I play all that. I do recording. Actually, my greatest interest in the film was recording and shooting the songs.
Okay.
Those were my joys. And a little bit of the story. I enjoyed the storytelling, but I hated shooting. I take too much stress.
But Dad was there, no?
No, he was never there.
He never came on the set?
Never came on set. Only once in Bangalore in the climax, he just came, but never.
So he gave you the reins and said, ride the horse?
Totally.
Wow. He had so much of faith in you and you and Amir together.
I guess.
That is, I think
that was his style. Yeah.
So you were talking about the music. So were you involved in?
So I already knew Anand Milan before that.
Okay.
For that video film which I told you. So they were my first choice straight away because I'd already built a bond with them.
Got you.
Because I could talk music with them. I could say, no, I don't like this progression. G minor, A major.
Okay.
So can we go somewhere? Things like that. And they were like bold over here. They said, okay, we've never worked with anybody like this. That may have been their first feature film, but they'd worked a lot with their dad for Bhojpuri films. So they had a lot of experience of what goes. So we had a great bond. And in the arrangement or in the choice of instruments, I said, no, we'll record a live drum. In those days, only those tutung, 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 and those drums had come in here.
Correct.
And everybody was
Correct.
going for that kind of sound. You know?
And
And I said this thing, and we got a live drum set on and nobody, even Ashok, the recordist, tried to figure out, because nobody had mic'd drums for so long, but he was amazing. And he gave great sound, yeah.
And that's where the song Papa Kehte Hain. And
So, our first song was Ghazab Ka Hai Din.
Ghazab Ka Hai Din.
And I was very happy with it. And Anand, Milind and I, we had a great rapport.
Wow.
And visualizing the song was also my thing. And part of, which I guess most directors do. But some directors for some kind of songs will leave it to the dance director.
Okay.
But my father always had a narration through the song.
Yes.
So he knows what he wants to communicate in each part of the song. So that was my contribution, yeah.
That was beautiful. Just the way that she writes, she strikes off on that, on the calendar notes, and there is a storytelling even in the song. Nowadays, when you see the song, it's just crazy dancing. There is no storytelling in it.
Yeah.
So
I think once in a while you can have a Diwali song or a Holi song or a festival song.
yeah,
Then you know that this song is like, I have a carnival song
carnival song.
in Josh. But in that carnival, I have woven the story of what is happening.
What is happening in the
Where is Max Shahrukh gone?
Got you.
Aishwarya is looking like, where is he?
Where is he?
And in the end, he's come in the song and he's just got this disturbing news that we are actually bastards. And my father is this guy whose statue is here.
Statues over here.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a story turning moment also.
Turning moment. And that song, Papa Kehte Hain, I mean, don't you ever relate to it somehow? That maybe it's something that, because coincides with your journey in life. It's such a beautiful song. 8 million,
No.
8 million
If I would have
copies.
thought about it too much, I wouldn't have recorded that song, those lyrics. क्या अगर fail हो गया तो?
Wow, what a-
नहीं, that
what a
was a thought
classic.
actually. I did communicate this to Majur Saab, which was the toughest part for me, but Majur Saab was immensely accommodating.
Yes.
Because my Urdu and Hindi were slightly unpolished
Okay.
in those days. So I would struggle. Say, नहीं मंसूर भैया बताइए आप इंग्लिश में बताइए कि आप what is the feeling that or what.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so I used to say, and the boys sing something like, everybody knows what they're going to do. Somebody's going to do this, somebody's going to do that. But I have no idea.
No idea.
तो मैंने पापा वर्ड का ही नहीं लाया था.
Ah,
I presented it this way.
this way.
And then in the end he says, but I have a dream.